Is this what you want? This fucking foliage? Is this what you want? Mr. Dips? Is this what you want? Me standing in front of EC3 buying designer coats? Is this what you want? Me sitting in some hipster hotel in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, fluffing pillows? Is this what you want? I don't believe this. This graffiti art, the hotels, avocado toast. All I want is a fucking Guinness. An ice cold Guinness. What the hell does that mean? Oh, this is what you wanted. This is your Monday Night Raw review right here on Off the Script.
All right, man, I gotta be honest with you guys. I gotta be honest with you, and I don't want to sound like a complete schmuck. But I'm watching the ending to Monday Night Raw tonight, and I'm hearing Miles Kennedy. I love Alter Bridge, man. Hearing Miles Kennedy on the PA system on Raw. Edge comes out. Fireworks go off. It's just a great moment. Just a great moment. I see Edge come out on Monday Night Raw. By the way, after he was hyped all night, which got a little nauseating by the end. But it's Edge, and we all waited to hear from him, being that he was the big surprise in the Royal Rumble. We waited all night for Edge. He gets into the ring. The guy is getting all this type of emotion from the fans in San Antonio tonight on Raw. And you see the overwhelming emotion in his eyes and in his face and in everything that he does. His body language, you knew that he was just living in the moment, and he was absolutely thrilled to be back. He started to tear up. I started to tear up. I remember back when he retired how I teared up, man. I started crying. Everybody started crying. I'm not even afraid to admit that. Everybody started crying when Edge retired. My best friend Pete was actually in the building in Connecticut while he retired. Everybody started crying. I started to tear up tonight. And then he went into detail about why he wanted to come back. He wanted to go out on his own terms. And I'm glad that he did. It's one of my favorite superstars of all time. And after all the rumors about him being in the Royal Rumble and all the rumors about what he's going to be doing at WrestleMania, out came Randy Orton. Out came Randy Orton. And I tell you, man, there is nobody better. There's nobody better in this industry that could just lure you into this sense of security and then all of a sudden flip a switch and make you look like a complete fool. Randy Orton is a national treasure. He really is. When Randy Orton started speaking, you know and you could tell it was off the cuff, it was from the heart, it was heartfelt. Everything that he said more than likely was 100% true. They hugged, and you seen Edge's eyes water up in that moment when Randy Orton was speaking. They hugged, and then before you know it, an RKO out of nowhere to Edge. And the false sense of security that Edge had, Randy Orton got a chant from the San Antonio crowd about getting rated RKO back on Monday Night Raw. Edge wanted it. Orton, at that time, seemed to have wanted it. The fans wanted it. Randy Orton knows how to take you from here all the way to down here. The methodical and the just venomous attitude of Randy Orton in that closing segment was a thing of beauty. The neck, the chairs, should I do it? Shouldn't I do it? It was unbelievable. And now we got our WrestleMania match after the rumors were circulating following the Royal Rumble. Was it going to be against AJ Styles in the OC? Was it going to be against Seth Rollins? Was it going to be against Randy Orton? I guess we got our answer tonight. That was fucking fantastic. I loved everything that happened in that closing segment. It's rated RKO. I love rated RKO, but tonight it was rated RK no because of Randy Orton and his sick attitude. And now he made himself, once again, the most hated man in this sport. I love it. Thank you guys so very much for joining me right here on the Monday Night Raw review. This was a rather dull edition of Monday Night Raw. Nothing happened on this show, really, outside of Edge and Drew McIntyre coming face-to-face with Brock Lesnar in the opening segments. Other than that, we didn't really get much of anything on this show, which was a piss-poor follow-up to what I thought was a very good Royal Rumble pay-per-view. We're going to go over it tonight right here on the podcast. It is January 27th, 2020. I am JD. This is Off the Script. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and turn on that bell for all notifications. If you enjoy what you see and hear right here on this very podcast, make sure to hit that thumbs up. It definitely helps out the channel. Thank you guys for following me on Twitter. All you guys from the Royal Rumble on through this evening, all the new followers, thank you all so very much for following along and tweeting live with me during what was a busy weekend of WWE. That is at JD from NY206 on both Twitter and Instagram. And again, thank you guys so very much. If you missed my Royal Rumble review, almost 2 hours of full, extensive coverage, very detailed coverage of the Royal Rumble and my thoughts on what I thought was a great Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Make sure you guys go and check that. Everything you need is linked down below, along with everything else that you might have missed this past weekend with Off the Script. And if you guys want to support the podcast via Patreon, you guys know how to certainly do that. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. Monday Night Raw started off, by the way, before we get into what opened Monday Night Raw, I have to say, Vic Joseph is no longer the play-by-play commentary guy on Monday Night Raw. It is now Tom Phillips. I really wish they would have given Tom Phillips the night off because he was absolutely hoarse. He didn't really have a full voice on this show after working pretty much all of the Royal Rumble event on Sunday night. I really wish they would have waited another week to take Vic Joseph out of there. But Vic Joseph is out and Tom Phillips is in. Now, when Vic Joseph was there, it was Vic Joseph, Jerry Lawler, and Dio Madden. That's what the commentary team was supposed to be. According to reports, Dio Madden wanted to go back to the PC and train to be a pro wrestler. Good for him. I was surprised we didn't see him in the Royal Rumble against Brock Lesnar after what Lesnar did to him several weeks ago, putting him through a table with an F5. So when Dio Madden wanted to go back to the PC, it was Lawler and Vic Joseph. Lawler in a two-man booth with Vic Joseph was not very good whatsoever. The overexposure of Jerry Lawler in a two-man booth was not good on the ears. That's just my honest opinion. So the less we hear of Lawler, the better. So what they did tonight is they went back to the three-man booth. So now we got the old SmackDown Live commentary team, 2/3 of it anyway, minus Corey Graves. We got Tom Phillips, and now we got Byron Saxton on Monday Night Raw. Now, usually I'd shit all over Byron Saxton because I think he's a tool. I think he's very generic and very boring, but I got to give him some props here. I would much rather hear him and Phillips than any more of Jerry Lawler than I have to. So we're going to have to deal with it. Now, this is hilarious to me. This was supposed to be Lawler's position until he didn't want it anymore. So when is he going to go away? He's not really cut out for the position anymore. And by the response that he gave, I believe he stated that, I don't even want to do this position. They just gave it to me. So leave. And just leave it to Phillips and Byron Saxton. Now, I don't know if this is true or not. And I got to do some investigative research on this because this is fucking hilarious. Vic Joseph was removed because apparently, and this is what some people on Twitter told me, again, I have to look into this. Vic Joseph, it was last week, I believe, or the week before that, in the build to the Royal Rumble. He mentioned something about the greatest Royal Rumble, the Royal Rumble that emanated from Saudi Arabia. He mentioned something about that greatest Royal Rumble not really counting and being a real Royal Rumble. Now, if that is the case, that is absolutely hilarious. That is absolutely hilarious that he would have gotten removed for basically telling the truth. Vic Joseph would have been removed for telling the truth. Why does WWE count the greatest Royal Rumble? I don't. As a fan, I don't. As a fan, I'm sure you guys don't as well. If you polled an overwhelming number of people in the audience, they wouldn't count it either. How stupid does WWE look for actually claiming that is a real Royal Rumble? Daniel Bryan has the record for the Royal Rumble for being in there the longest. No, he doesn't. It's Rey Mysterio, not Daniel Bryan. The Royal Rumble happens in January. The winner of the Royal Rumble goes on to WrestleMania. I don't know what the winner got from that Battle Royal and where the winner went after winning that Battle Royal. Nowhere. Right back on a plane, back to the United States where they belong. So I have to do some investigative work and find out if that really is the case as to why Vic Joseph got removed. So I found that to be fucking hilarious. So we'll figure that out hopefully by the time I record off the script this weekend. So we started Monday Night Raw with Drew McIntyre, the winner of the 2020 Royal Rumble, and rightfully so, after they gave me another heart attack, with Roman Reigns being the final guy being eliminated. So Drew McIntyre's in the ring. Fans are chanting, "You deserve it." Of course he does. Of course he does. And kudos to WWE for finally going with the right decision. Sometimes they do that. But like I said on the review on Sunday night, we can all get excited about Drew McIntyre and the aspirations and the thoughts and the excitement of a Drew McIntyre and Brock Lesnar match, but it's all in the follow-up. It's all in the follow-up. What's the build going to be between Drew McIntyre and Brock Lesnar? If Drew McIntyre wins the WWE Championship, what's his reign going to be like? Does WWE have a list of guys that they want Drew McIntyre to go up against as champion? What is his reign going to look like? If this mirrors Seth Rollins' reign, this is going to be an immediate failure. It's all in the follow-up. And I don't want to be a negative Nancy, but WWE doesn't have a good track record of having a good follow-up. So it's going to be very interesting to keep an eye on as we see Drew McIntyre ascend to the WWE Championship. Drew soaked it in. He said he'll need someone to come over and pinch him because he's been dreaming for the last 24 hours. He said it feels so good to be standing before them as the winner of the Royal Rumble. I'm going to WrestleMania, he said. He said some of the guys like to play games when they're in this position and draw things out, but that's not his style. He says it's time for an announcement, and he said it right then and there. I challenge Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. So we got our first confirmation of a match in Tampa for WrestleMania. So the fans were chanting yes, they're all excited. He said most of the guys in the back are terrified of Brock Lesnar, but not me. He said he looked him in the eye as he entered the ring last night, and he knew he could Claymore kick him right over the top rope, and he did just that. He said he also knows he's going to beat Brock Lesnar for the WWE title at WrestleMania. He said he's full of energy and would love to give someone out there in the locker room a Claymore kick right now. He wanted a Claymore kick party. I guess this is a relative of the Super Kick party emanating in AEW. So he asked who is going to come out and fight him. So I'm looking at Drew McIntyre here, and I'm loving what I'm hearing. I'm loving what I'm seeing. I'm a big Drew McIntyre guy. I have been a big Drew McIntyre guy for a very long time. Have not really loved the way WWE has positioned him. I do wonder, though, and I know some of you out there feel the same way, they got a lot of work to do. They got a lot of work to do. Sunday night was a very good step in the right direction. But it's going to take a little bit more work. They conditioned everybody to look at Drew McIntyre as a mid-card guy, pairing him with Baron Corbin and Bobby Lashley and Braun Strowman and Dolph Ziggler and Roman Reigns, and he just constantly was put in these positions to be a loser. He was constantly put in these positions to not be really that important. WWE didn't want him to come off as being important. He looked good. He sounded good. He's great in the ring. He's got everything you want from a pro wrestler. But WWE didn't want you to think that about him. They put the leash on him, and it was very short. So having him win the Royal Rumble was the absolutely number one, 100% right outcome. But it's going to take a lot of work. I hear Drew McIntyre speak. I look at Drew McIntyre. I look at his body language. I look at his attitude, and he's legitimate. He's real. And this is something that Seth Rollins did not have. This is something that Seth Rollins did not have. Even though we all advocated for Seth Rollins, we all advocated for Seth Rollins last year around this time because there was nobody else on the Monday Night Raw brand. There was nobody else built up. It was Roman Reigns, and then it was Seth Rollins. That was it. That was it. Legitimately, that was it. But nothing that Seth Rollins said, nothing that Seth Rollins has said, has resonated with the audience when he was a babyface. Everything that came out of his mouth were empty words. He didn't believe in anything the guy was saying. He didn't believe in who he was. He was just not a believable character. Everything that Drew McIntyre has said and everything that Drew McIntyre has done, especially with tonight and what he said in the microphone, he's a believable guy. He's a legitimate guy. And I honestly want to think that when you look at him and he beats Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, the fans are going to see that as well. But then I'm going to be right back to where I started this entire podcast. It's all in the follow-up. What is WWE going to do to continue making everybody believe? That's the issue. That's the issue. I don't want to be negative. I don't want to shit on it. But WWE really doesn't give me any choice but to shit on them because their track record sucks. So this was great. Happy to see Drew McIntyre out there, and I love seeing someone who we know deserves an opportunity get that opportunity. The OC come out. Why? I don't know. Luke Gallows and Karl Anderson marched out to the ring. They wanted to fight Drew McIntyre. Well, at least Karl Anderson wanted to anyway. Gallows says he also wants to fight him. So Drew leaned over the ropes and said, "Are you thinking what I'm thinking, talking to the fans? I'm the dream maker right now. You both can fight me tonight. Get me a referee." So this was a handicap match that went 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, folks. Aren't the OC the best tag team in the world? Don't they carry around a trophy signifying that they are the best tag team in the world? Man, those 5-year contracts are looking really good, right? Now, you're looking like fucking suckers signing 5-year contracts. These guys have never looked like bigger losers than they did tonight. Now, I don't know why this was a handicap match. I don't know why McIntyre needed a match to begin with. What was the point of this? What was the point of this segment? This handicap match? What did this accomplish? You want to assert dominance by Drew McIntyre? Great. You're trying to assert dominance in Drew McIntyre. Meanwhile, we all watched him eliminate Brock Lesnar in the Royal Rumble. You can't assert any more dominance than that after Sunday night. Yet you needed to bury the OC even further tonight on Monday Night Raw to prove the same point that you did on Sunday night? This was completely fucking unnecessary. 2 Claymore kicks. He's really getting that countdown over as well. I could see that being a big thing at WrestleMania when he finally delivers the fatal blow to Brock Lesnar. But this was completely fucking unnecessary. I hope those 5-year contracts are worth it in the end for the OC because they look like complete fucking losers. And rightfully so. At the end of the day, they deserve it because they knew what they were getting themselves into. This did not need to happen. After the match, Drew McIntyre threw Gallows and Anderson out of the ring. All of a sudden, the fans started to go crazy in a frenzy. Brock Lesnar ran to the ring, kicked McIntyre in the gut, gave him an F5. He tore off his shirt, threw it on top of McIntyre, and held up the WWE Championship. Now, this was great. This was great. Obviously, he's still mad from what happened in the Royal Rumble. This is all he wanted to do, was just get that fucking fatal blow in on Drew McIntyre. But this could have been done after the promo. You didn't need to bury Anderson and Gallows in a handicap match to get to this. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? This was a WWE tactic that was unnecessary. They did this last night at the Royal Rumble, only to pretty much do what they did on Sunday night here on Monday while burying Gallows and Anderson. Unnecessary. Rey Mysterio versus MVP. MVP. Yes, that MVP. He's back in WWE, at least for a little bit, following the Royal Rumble. Remember when I said this was a dull, lifeless episode of Monday Night Raw for a follow-up to the Royal Rumble? This is the reason. This is the reason. So we got a match here, 8 minutes. Rey Mysterio wins in 8 minutes. MVP. Don't know why he's back. Really don't. I said it the other day when I was on Off the Script, or when I did the review, or not the review, the preview and predictions on Sunday afternoon, early Sunday afternoon. It's like all these legends come out WrestleMania season and they expect a big WrestleMania payday because they were once upon a time a vital part of the company. Oh, it's WrestleMania season. Let me fucking dust off the old outfit and let me fucking pull back the wrinkles and see if I could fucking get a payday out of Vince. They come out of their caves. One time a year they come out of their caves. What young talent could I take a WrestleMania spot away from this year? MVP is absolutely unnecessary for WWE TV. Now, I'm not sure if you guys are fans of MVP or if you have any interest in seeing MVP back on TV. I don't. He's slow. He is very lethargic. He is completely outdated. He looks completely out of place. And did I mention he was fucking slow and sluggish? Very slow. If he was on the basketball court, they'd be fucking running circles around him. Ballin'? Nah. No more ballin', motherfucker. Back to the old age home you go, Mr. MVP. The fuck you the MVP of? Titus is looking for fucking MVPs in catering. Apparently Dana Brooke is getting a push. Her position there might be open. I hope not. Dana Brooke getting a push? Give me a break. Yeah, push right into the fucking number 2 position in line, waiting for the fucking chicken. So we got Rey Mysterio winning in 8 minutes. There was nothing to this match that I enjoyed at all. And it ended on a god-awful 619. Now, I don't know if MVP was just having timing issues here. Rey Mysterio went for the 619, and MVP got up from the second rope, and Rey Mysterio did not connect with the 619 like he usually does to the face. He connected in the back, barely. And then he springboarded himself onto the back of MVP with a splash and scored the 3 count. That's it. I hope this is a one and done. MVP does not belong on Monday Night Raw at all. At all. We don't need any more fucking legends coming out of their old age homes for WrestleMania. Aleister Black versus Kenneth Johnson. I don't know why this name sounds familiar. I don't know why he looked familiar. I have a feeling I've seen him somewhere before. I'm sure someone will tell me and notify me where I've seen this guy before. He just looked familiar. Now, he might have been out of Booker T's school. He might have been out of Booker T's school. Looked like he was wearing a throwback to Harlem Heat's old ring attire. White leather, had the flame going down the pant leg. I don't know, maybe. Maybe. I could be wrong. Aleister Black wins here in 1 minute. He threw a kick early. Johnson evaded him. He tried to go for a takedown like a fool. And then he walked right into a black mass. Fade to black, Mr. Kenneth Johnson. 1 minute. At this point, I don't even know why they stopped Aleister Black's theme music. Just keep the theme music going. If the match is going to be that fucking quick, just keep the theme music going. Seriously. So Aleister Black actually got on the microphone and he said he got eliminated from the Royal Rumble last night. I actually predicted that it would be Aleister Black and Drew McIntyre in the end as the final 2. That's the way I would have booked it. The Royal Rumble is for guys like Aleister Black, but WWE really didn't make anybody in that Royal Rumble outside of Drew McIntyre for the men. Bianca Belair had a fucking unbelievable showing. If there was an MVP, legitimately, of the entire night outside of Drew McIntyre, it's Bianca Belair. Oh, but JD, Charlotte won the Royal Rumble, man. Oh, we'll talk about Charlotte, motherfucker. Aleister Black is in the ring. I got eliminated from the Royal Rumble. Says he's not blaming Buddy Murphy or Seth Rollins. He said the only person responsible for the loss is him. Very kind of you, sir. Owning up to your mistakes. But really, it was Buddy Murphy's fault. Aleister Black is just trying to be a commendable individual. He said the loss is on him, and he owns the loss. He said there's one more thing he is accountable for. He said the last few months he's made a mistake of waiting for people to come and pick a fight with him. He sat down in the middle of the ring and said, from now on, I will bring the fight to you. So it took you 10 months to finally come to this realization. 10 months it finally took Aleister Black that he should be bringing the fight to everybody else. You know, the same way he used to do in NXT when Triple H was in charge. Now, he's finally come to this conclusion. Maybe Zelina Vega knocked some fucking sense into him last night. You know, she was dressed like Mortal Kombat last night. Maybe she did a fucking fatality on him. I don't understand that. Now, where does he go from here now? Who is he going to pick a fight with? Is it going to be Buddy Murphy again? I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind at all. Is it going to be Seth Rollins? Are we going to get Seth Rollins versus Aleister Black at WrestleMania? Are we going to get a big 8-man tag at WrestleMania? Maybe Rey Mysterio gets involved. Maybe it's Owens, Joe, Mysterio, and Black versus Murphy, Rollins, and AOP. Or maybe the Viking Raiders. Maybe the Viking Raiders, because they were involved, which we'll talk about in a little bit here tonight with the AOP. I don't know. I seen some shit going around on Twitter tonight that Aleister Black, being that he said this, could be setting himself for The Undertaker at WrestleMania. I don't know. Undertaker would be a great opponent for Aleister Black. I think that'd be a great match. Well, I won't say, not great, but it would be a commendable match. I think The Undertaker would actually work very well with Aleister Black. And I don't know how much longer The Undertaker is going to have in the WWE. For all we know, this guy's going to fucking go on for another 25 years, but I think Aleister Black would be a perfect individual to retire The Undertaker. Honestly. That very well could be what WWE is setting him up for. Because it sounds like that's a perfect open doorway to The Undertaker. I am going to now pick fights with who I want. No better time of season to pick a fight with The Undertaker. I'm just saying. So we'll see what happens with Aleister Black. He's too good not to be used in a priority on this show. Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy, they're in the ring. But before we get to them, I want to shout out my sponsor for tonight's show, Audible. You guys know the deal with Audible. audibletrial.com/offthescript. Can Seth Rollins read? I hope so. He's the Monday Night Messiah. But if he wants to read something good and brush up on his Messiah-like skills, he can actually use my link, audibletrial.com/offthescript. We got 200,000 audiobooks to choose from, a lot of which are wrestling related. Use our link. You're going to get 30 days of their service for free and one free audiobook of your choice. So make it count, man. And I'm telling you right now, at the end of March, Jim Ross has a new book coming out called Under the Black Hat. You guys can sign up for Audible and get it for free on pre-order, just like you did Kane with Mayor Kane, My Life in Wrestling and Politics, who I'm glad we didn't see in the Royal Rumble. You know? Good thing we didn't see him in the Royal Rumble. But if you guys want to sign up for Audible and support the podcast, you guys can certainly do that. audibletrial.com/offthescript. Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy were in the ring. This was probably outside of the Edge segment at the end of the show. Was my favorite thing on Monday Night Raw. So Buddy and Seth are in the ring. He said he is there to focus on the positives from the Royal Rumble. He bragged that he eliminated Kevin Owens and he eliminated Samoa Joe, and neither of those men are going to WrestleMania. So he sacrificed himself for the good of his guys, for the good of his disciples. So we got him pretty much stopping Owens and Joe from going to WrestleMania. He then talked about him and his new disciple defeating the Viking Raiders to become the new Raw Tag Team Champions. He said earlier in the day, Owens and Joe laid out a challenge for the irrelevant Monday Night Raw Tag Team Championships. He said because he is a benevolent leader. You know, I'm still waiting to find out how benevolent he is. I'm still waiting for him to unblock me on Twitter. He's such a benevolent leader. Motherfucker, I am the Monday Night Messiah of the YWC. You don't believe me? Look. What'd I tell you? I don't bullshit you. Oh, it's coming, motherfucker. It's coming. Believe me, I just got to find a place that's actually going to make good, quality, excellent t-shirts. The YWC Messiah. Follow me, my sons. Follow me. And my daughters. Can't leave the women out. Follow me, my sons and daughters. I will guide you to the promised land every Monday and Friday. I will take you away from the garbage known as Raw and SmackDown. Amen. Yes, I'm a lunatic. I know. What other character in the YWC are you going to fucking be this entertained by? Huh? Nobody. Anyway. He's a benevolent leader. He's accepted the challenge. He called them to come to the ring and get your asses handed to you by the Monday Night Messiah. Fraud. Just saying. Gimmick infringement here by Rollins. Owens walked out, then Joe joined him. KO said Seth still talks too much. Seth said he barely said anything. KO said the last 2 months he's been an absolute jackass and he sucks now. Listen, bro, Kevin Owens said it. I didn't. I'm just reiterating what Kevin Owens said. I got my Seth Rollins roasting on Fridays off the script. You guys want to go check that out? Link is down in the description. The clown. The clown says the fans do too much complaining. All the fans do is complain. Yes, because we don't have a fucking right to complain when we're served garbage on Monday or Friday night, right? So Joe asked, what's the difference about tonight? Because he's been turning down challenges lately. He says that about Seth Rollins. KO says it seems he has hired his goons and they are now hidden somewhere to jump them once again. Seth said he thought that they both would accuse them of hiding the AOP. So Rollins went on to say that I put a camera in my private dressing room to show you that they are in the back. So let me get this straight, folks. This is what I don't get as far as logic. So Seth knew that Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe were going to come out in this instance during this very exact part of the show and complain about AOP. So much so that he put a camera on them in his private dressing room and locked the door. That's what you're telling me. Because Seth Rollins knew he was going to be in this moment at this very exact time with Samoa Joe and Kevin Owens complaining about this situation. Try again, Mr. Rollins. I'm sorry. That did not make any sense to me. I laugh when I see this type of illogical garbage on the show. So, he said he put a camera in the dressing room to prove it. They showed up on the big screen. He started talking to AOP, telling them to say something. Seth said that's the proof that they are not going to be out here, that they're going to be in the back. Samoa Joe then said that's sufficient, but what if it was recorded earlier in the day and they're running another scam? So Seth, I actually like that line by Samoa Joe because that's a witty, very clever line by Samoa Joe. That's actually a good argument to refute Seth Rollins, which you don't normally see on this show. So Joe said that, and then Seth asked if Joe was calling him a liar. Seth asked for the video to be brought back up again. Seth told Akam to tell Kevin Owens something, so they were speaking in their native tongue. Akam said something, and then Seth said, that should prove to everybody that he's not a liar and shows that they're in his locker room right now. Kevin Owens then said, now they don't have to look for the AOP anymore. Then suddenly the Viking Raiders come out of nowhere and attack the AOP in Seth Rollins' locker room. So it was actually Samoa Joe and Kevin Owens that set up Seth Rollins. Because they had the Viking Raiders, apparently they were listening in on this entire thing, went right to their dressing room and attacked the AOP, which was great. I thought this was very clever. Referees tried to come and separate them. Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe entered the ring. Seth and Buddy then leapt out of the ring, and we went to commercial break right before this tag team match got started. I thought this was clever. I thought this was really entertaining. Rollins interacting with Joe and Kevin Owens was very entertaining. Him yelling at them, don't call me a liar. You can call me anything, but don't call me a liar. The silliness of Rollins putting a camera in the locker room and, you know, him knowing that this exact moment was going to happen, it's kind of silly. I gotta blow their spot up because I wouldn't be me if I didn't. It just reeks of stupidity to me. But it didn't take away from the segment. I thought this was very clever. I thought this was good. It was good banter back and forth between all three of these guys. Murphy didn't say anything. And then we got a tag team match laid down by Owens and Joe. And I do like the fact that Rollins did not back away from a tag team title match. He was actually accepting of the tag team title match before the AOP were taken out by the Viking Raiders. So I do like that as well. It's the little things that matter to me the most. You know, you could be a heel, but sometimes the heels don't always need to be cowardly. If they have a challenge laid down before them, the heels should say, you know what, let's fight. I'm better than you regardless, so let's do it. They don't always have to be fucking pussies in this type of situation. So I like that. Rollins and Murphy versus Owens and Joe for the tag team championships. This one's 16 minutes. Not bad. Not bad. But the big thing about this match was what happened before we went to commercial break. Samoa Joe was being beaten down, and he started to get some momentum, and he took out both Rollins and Murphy on the outside with a suicide dive. So Joe dove through the ropes, forearm to Buddy Murphy, and that was pretty much it. We come back from commercial break, and the commentary team on Raw, Phillips and Lawler and Byron Saxton, they're all showing you exactly what happened to Samoa Joe on the way down during the suicide dive. Looked like he hit his head hard on the mat. Now, I don't think this is legit. I hope not. Because, you know, Samoa Joe is very injury prone. And he's in a big situation here, and I hope that this does not derail him again in a top spot on Monday Night Raw. He's another one of those guys that I want to see succeed, but he's always derailed by injury. So they showed him hitting his head hard on the mat. Referee ordered Joe to the back. Joe was like, don't touch me, don't touch me. He walked to the back on his own, so I'm hoping that he's okay. But this took Samoa Joe out of the match. So now it's a handicap tag team title match with Kevin Owens versus Rollins and Buddy Murphy. So Rollins and Buddy Murphy were doing their best to subdue Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens made a big comeback after avoiding Seth Rollins and a Stinger Splash. He landed a frog splash middle of the ring for a 2 count. Seth and Buddy Murphy again took over, started to get some heat on KO for several minutes. Seth attempted a stomp on the ring apron. KO moved. KO turned to give Buddy Murphy a stunner. He instead gave one to Seth Rollins, who tried to interfere on Buddy Murphy here to stop this because Buddy was the legal man. Buddy then rolled Kevin Owens up from behind after he gave a stunner to Rollins, who was not the legal man, and pinned Kevin Owens to retain the Raw Tag Team titles. That was pretty much it. Now, you're probably wondering why. At some point in this thing, why did this happen? Why did this match happen? Why did Samoa Joe get taken out? And why was Kevin Owens left by himself? Why? Let me try and piece this thing together for you. WWE has this thing about continuing whatever they got going on in some way, shape, or form. Tag team match, a one-on-one match, blah, blah, blah. This was their version of stringing this storyline along on this show. So Rollins and Murphy won the tag team titles. Joe and Kevin Owens, I assume, are going to be the tag team to take those titles off of Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy. So we got the match tonight. Now, how many times do you guys see a match like this happen, and then in this situation with Rollins also hiring the AOP, how many times would you have seen the other members of the stable get involved and cause a DQ? AOP normally on any other given night would have come in and caused a disqualification, and it would have been a complete waste of everybody's time. At least tonight, we got WWE taking Samoa Joe out of the match. Yes, I don't know if it's legit or not. I hope not. But Samoa Joe was taken out of the match, which I'm going to go on and assume is per storyline. That left Kevin Owens by himself. And instead of going the formulaic, ordinary way that WWE usually goes about having outside interference, they took Joe out of the match, left Kevin Owens to fight and make some sort of a comeback before falling short and succumbing to the 2-on-1 handicap match that this tag team title now turned into. So it doesn't look that bad when Kevin Owens loses to Buddy Murphy and Seth Rollins, because he should lose a 2-on-1 match. And I appreciate the little things. I appreciate that WWE didn't go with their ordinary and formulaic way to get a fucking decision here by DQ. There was a pinfall. Owens lost, and it was nothing about what Kevin Owens did. It wasn't even his fault. It was Samoa Joe doing a high-risk move. He got hurt, and that left Kevin Owens by himself. And he took a loss, which he should have in that situation. I actually dig that. I'm not going to complain too much about that, because more times than not, WWE would have went with the usual way they go about things. Tonight, they didn't. So I can't really shit on that. Rollins and Buddy Murphy retain. Obviously, this is not over yet. With the Viking Raiders now getting mixed up with AOP, I'd love to see both of those teams go at it. Please. I've been waiting for that for a very long time. I think both of those teams could tear it fucking down if you let them go. Very interesting stuff here. Charlie Caruso asked Becky Lynch if the win over Asuka accomplished what she wanted. Becky said it accomplished even more. She said last night, after she collected on that final debt, something profound happened. She said she iced up, showered, looked at her title, and it finally hit her. I really am in a whole different league than the rest of those dopes. She said with an upbeat smile and just overwhelming sense of joy, dopes. I don't know what she's trying to be, but she comes off very cringe. I don't know what you guys think. She said she did everything she said she was going to achieve and beat everyone she called out. She said she's beaten them all. So now that everyone who has done her wrong has been collected on, the next person she beats is going to be because she wants to, not because she has to. That could be an inside little tidbit or an inside scoop about who is next. Ronda? Shayna? I don't know. We'll find out soon. So Caruso asked about Charlotte winning the Royal Rumble match. Becky said if Charlotte challenges her, it won't be the first time, but it will certainly be the last time. No, honey, we've seen the last time. We've seen the last time, and nobody wants to see it another time. Move on. And I hope WWE does the same thing. Andrade with Zelina Vega versus Humberto Carrillo for the United States Championship. Yeah. If you're wondering, the same thing I'm wondering, I don't know either. Didn't we see this match on Sunday on the pre-show? You're damn right we did. JD, didn't we see Humberto Carrillo lose clean to Andrade? You're damn right we did. How many title shots is Humberto Carrillo going to get for the United States Championship? Man, his dimples must be doing a really good job politicking backstage. I've never seen so many losers in one company continue to get reimbursed. They just get everything. The losers in this company get everything handed to them. The winners, forget about it. You're a winner, that means you're a loser. If you're a loser, that means you're a winner in WWE. Things are ass backwards. It's like Bizarro World in Seinfeld. Humberto Carrillo with another United States Championship match. They say the rematch clause, and I think they said it, doesn't exist, but apparently in this situation, it's swept under the rug. There's no reason for this match to be happening again. No reason for this match to be happening again. He's not over. He's not over. I'm sure his dimples are over on some fucking Pinterest account, but he's not over. Give me a break with this fucking guy. What did I say about Humberto on Sunday night when I did the review? His offense sucks. There's nothing about this guy's offense that makes me believe in him beating Andrade. They're not even on the same level. They're not. Humberto needs to up his offense if he wants to make me a believer that he could take the title from Andrade. It's not going to be with a fucking arm drag. It's not going to be with some fucking flippy dive. It's not going to be with some fucking Mexican luchador move. You don't see Andrade doing that shit in every fucking sequence. Andrade hits. Andrade's intense. Humberto is like, okay, let me do what's cool, and maybe they'll cheer for me. No, clown. Nobody's cheering for you because you're a loser. This match went, I don't even know how long. I wasn't even keeping track. Andrade took control. Andrade was in control most of this thing. Beating down the babyface and then having the babyface make the big babyface come back. For what? For what? I didn't believe in him the first time, the second time, the third time, the fourth time, the fifth time, the eighth time. Andrade took over, shoving Humberto to the ground as he flew midair. Same sequence as Sunday. Applied a submission hold and then powerbombed him towards the corner of the ring. Humberto made another comeback a couple of minutes later. Landed a standing moonsault for a 2 count. You know, that ain't going to get it done, bro. Standing moonsaults aren't going to get it done against Andrade Cien Almas. I miss the Cien. Andrade kicked the ropes as Humberto springboarded off of them, then scored a quick 2 count. Zelina encouraged Andrade from the outside. You know what to do. You know what to do. Let's go. Cheering him on. Humberto came back with a springboard roundhouse kick. He missed the first one and then went for a springboard off the second rope. Got that one. He then climbed up to the top rope and landed a moonsault. He didn't connect all of it. I seen him do it prettier, but he got it. He went for a cover and Zelina Vega broke up the pinfall and the referee called for a disqualification. The referee called for a disqualification. Folks, I don't know what you're thinking. Now, I am no wrestling historian. I'm no wrestling fucking scientist. I'm not some sort of fucking WWE creative writer here. I'm some fucking goon on YouTube who talks pro wrestling. Smart and logically, I might add. But I'm no Paul Heyman. I'm no Vince McMahon. But if Andrade beat this guy clean on the Royal Rumble pre-show, what was the fucking purpose of having a DQ here the very next night? I don't get it. You don't get it, you say. Let's move on. Let's move on because this thing becomes even more confusing with the next segment. Humberto was furious. He was furious. Oh my God, poor little Humberto is now mad. He's angry, is Humberto. So he attacked Andrade and threw him into the barricade, or threw him into the ring steps, whatever. He lifted the ringside mat. You know, because Humberto was DDT'd on the concrete by Andrade all those weeks ago. So now Andrade is going to get the same thing that was done to Humberto to him. So Humberto dragged Andrade onto the exposed concrete. Zelina Vega was yelling for help. Nobody was listening. If Zelina was yelling at me, I'd come running. I don't know about you guys. So Humberto then delivered a DDT onto the concrete. Lawler was screaming. He actually did it. He grew some fucking pubic hair on his balls. Did Humberto. Zelina was crying as she was leaning over Andrade as he was motionless after the DDT. You know, people were like, JD, why do you hate Humberto? I never said I hated Humberto. I just hate the fact that this guy is getting title shot, title shot, title shot, title shot, and the guy has accumulated L, 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 L. You might as well replace the letter L in the fucking alphabet with a picture of Humberto Carrillo. That's how many fucking L's he has. He's the new fucking letter, L. When you see Sesame Street and you fucking sit your 3-year-old child down in front of the TV to watch Sesame Street, when they go over the alphabet, when the count is going over whatever the fuck he's going over, Oscar the Grouch is going over whatever he's going over, and they go over the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, Humberto. I never said I hated Humberto, but the guy's a fucking loser. Now, please, let me elaborate on this. People were like, oh, he finally got some intensity. He finally got that intensity that we knew he was missing. He was over in this segment. Over? What was over? The 4 fucking people that were in the audience? The 4 fucking people that were cheering for Humberto, right? Yeah, he's over. What's going to happen next week? Where's all those people that claimed to me this week that he was over? And when he's met with fucking library silence. Might as well be accompanied to the ring by fucking Leva Bates at that point. This guy's not over. He will never be over. And let me tell you something. I don't know what the fuck they're doing with this guy, but he's actually having a negative effect on Andrade. Meanwhile, Andrade could be feuding with fucking someone who actually is over, Ricochet or Aleister Black. They got this guy, Andrade, in a meaningless feud with fucking Humberto Carrillo. Yeah, he's over. He's over. I'm sure he's over. Over where? He's over in line in fucking catering, I'm sure. Mexican nights on Thursday. Now I got some news here. Late in the evening, which makes this even more bizarre. And I'm glad, listen, if WWE did not make a decision on this, even after this next piece of news I'm about to read to you, then they will not. They will not. Pro Wrestling Sheet has learned that Andrade has been suspended for violating WWE's wellness policy. Andrade is now suspended for 30 days as the United States champion. For what? I don't know. For what? I don't know. Maybe he dipped into Charlotte's fucking gym bag. HGH. Who knows? If Andrade's juicing, I wonder if Charlotte's juicing. That's something that I'd look into. Sources tell Pro Wrestling Sheet, real name Manuel, I'm going to fuck this up. I'm not even going to pronounce it. Oro Pisa was told of the suspension this morning. It's unclear what substance he was tested positive for at this time. In an effort to write him off television for the next 30 days, obviously you've seen what happened tonight with the DDT. A DDT to the concrete would certainly take somebody out in 30 days, or for 30 days. So that's what happened there. Robert Roode, or Bobby Roode, and Primo Colon were suspended in December for violations. Roode has since returned to television. Primo still is selling timeshare in Puerto Rico. I'm still waiting on my fucking free voucher for a pina colada when I go down there. And now Andrade is now suspended. So let me tell you something, folks. If WWE knew of this suspension this morning and still booked Humberto to win by DQ here without the United States Championship around his waist, what does that mean for Humberto Carrillo? That means that he's never going to win the United States Championship. And he shouldn't win the United States Championship. If he was over, he would be the United States Champion. But who is the United States Champion? A freshly suspended Andrade Cien Almas. Move on. Because I'm ready to. That's for sure. Moving on to the next segment here. So we got Charlotte. Oh my God. Speaking of suspended. Mr. Flair suspended for 30 days. Mrs. Flair makes her way to the ring. Phillips says that they have an update on Andrade's condition, or they will have an update. I just gave you an update. He's suspended for 30 days. Don't listen to Tom Phillips. Charlotte comes out, said she doesn't want to brag. Oh, yeah, yes you do, honey. Yes, you do. And I want to brag to all my fucking friends that you're an overrated mess. brag. She doesn't want to brag, but she does. She said she did what she did, and she said what she was going to do was win the Royal Rumble. She did it. She said she's Charlotte Flair. Of course you are. If you weren't named Flair, you wouldn't be in the position that you're in now. If you didn't have fucking flotation devices on your chest, you wouldn't be where you are now. If you weren't blonde, you wouldn't be where you are now. Am I right? Absolutely. So indulge her in her pride. I don't indulge you in anything. I'll indulge in a fucking cold beverage after this fucking review is over. Fuck your pride. She threw a video package of the highlights we seen at the Royal Rumble. Yes, please, because I loved it the first time. I gotta watch it again, right? She said she doesn't take this WrestleMania decision lightly, and it means a lot to her. She paused and then said, I'm going to challenge for a championship because I'm still thinking about it. So I was doing some shit talking, like I usually do on social media. It's nothing new in my realm on Twitter. And I was talking trash about Charlotte, and people were not happy with me. I don't really give a shit. I know things that other people do not know. Just take that into consideration. I would hope people know at this juncture that I am not some fucking small fish in the sea. I know people. People know of me. I know things that you do not know. So why would you ever discredit me when I say something? Now, I had these fools come to me on social media after I talked trash about this Charlotte promo, challenging for a title and blah, 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 blah. WWE did nothing but clickbait you for this particular segment. Why? I don't know, because who really gives a shit about who Charlotte Flair is challenging at WrestleMania? Nobody gives a shit. Nobody gives a shit whatsoever. They think people give a shit. We don't. We don't. And that's a given with the reaction that we heard when Charlotte won the Royal Rumble. Oh, but JD, what if she challenges Rhea Ripley? This is what I had thrown in my direction tonight on Twitter. What if she challenges Rhea Ripley? And Rhea Ripley is put over Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. Folks, Charlotte didn't even want to put over Shayna Baszler in the Royal Rumble. I hope you do know that Charlotte Flair has major, and I mean major political pull in WWE. She doesn't want to bump, she won't bump. Look what she did with Sarah Logan. I remember 3 weeks ago, Sarah Logan threw Charlotte Flair into a steel post. What did Charlotte Flair do? She no-sold it, gave Sarah Logan a big boot, and then put her robe on, and then wiped her boots off on poor Sarah Logan. Charlotte Flair is about putting over new talent? Absolutely not. Charlotte Flair wanting to take a loss? I don't think so. Charlotte Flair was actually interviewed and said that she has the worst win-loss record out of anybody in the women's division in WWE. Yet she doesn't realize that she is a 11-time champion and you have 10 losses just from that alone. That alone. You've been in every WrestleMania title match since the fucking inception of the women's title in WWE, and you main evented WrestleMania in fucking 2019. You weaseled your way into that main event for absolutely no reason when you certainly were not needed, and now she's going to be wrestling for the women's title again in Tampa. You tell me if Charlotte deserves all these accolades. Go ahead, I dare you. Does she deserve all these accolades? No. The only one who thinks she deserves these accolades are upper management, suits and ties, these faceless fucking cretins at Titan Tower, and Charlotte Flair. Those are the only people who think Charlotte deserves all of these accolades. Charlotte is nothing more than a statistic. Charlotte is nothing more than an accolade. Charlotte's entire resume is built on emptiness. When you look at Charlotte's resume, you see nothing but emptiness. That's all you see. Please elaborate and tell me which one of Charlotte Reigns' 34 title reigns is fucking memorable. Zero. I don't remember one fucking title reign at all being memorable from Charlotte Flair. So please tell me why Charlotte Flair needs to be looked at as the greatest of all time. Please tell me why Charlotte Flair needed to win the Royal Rumble. You know who needed to win the fucking Royal Rumble? Bianca Belair. You know who needed to win the Royal Rumble? Shayna Baszler. You know who needed to win the Royal Rumble? Sasha Banks. That's who needed to win the fucking Royal Rumble, not Charlotte Flair. What is winning the Royal Rumble going to do for Charlotte Flair? You mean to tell me that WWE doesn't have another in for Charlotte at WrestleMania, that they had to give her the Royal Rumble? Folks, if you think that is the case, you might be the dumbest fuck I have ever seen. They gave her the Royal Rumble because she's never won a Royal Rumble. They gave her the Royal Rumble because it's just another statistic, another analytic on an empty fucking sheet of accolades. That's all it is. That's all it is. And if you don't like what I'm telling you, don't watch. Don't watch. I don't know what else to say. Charlotte is one of the most overrated female performers in the entire company. She has massive, and then I got these fucking people, as if they got stock in Charlotte, as if they're designing Charlotte's wardrobes on a weekly basis, as if some pay that Charlotte earns during the month goes into them as fucking commission for speaking highly about Charlotte Flair. Oh, but Charlotte Flair doesn't book her own matches. Charlotte Flair doesn't come up with the creative decisions for herself. This is the fucking bullshit that I get on my timeline. These people have a brain cell of fucking Mitch the Plant here. I got an empty pot here of Mitch the Plant. Look, they got the brain cell of this fucking empty potted plant there. As if Charlotte Flair doesn't have any political pull in WWE. Someone like Charlotte Flair doesn't have any political pull. Someone like Charlotte Flair can't go to Vince McMahon and say, Vince, I don't want it. That's all she has to say. That's all she has to say. You mean to tell me that Charlotte doesn't have that type of power to go to Vince McMahon, Vince, I don't want it, and it's not going to happen? You must be the biggest fucking idiot in denial I've ever seen. I guarantee you, I would bet the fucking house on it. I would bet the fucking house on it that Charlotte went to Vince McMahon. I don't want to be eliminated by Shayna Baszler. You say it, it shall be done. Guarantee you. Guarantee you. Maybe Charlotte even advocated for Sasha Banks not to be in the Royal Rumble because she didn't want to be overshadowed. Unbelievable how people defend the bullshit of Charlotte Flair. How people justify this. Who, in their right mind, is okay with Charlotte Flair winning the Royal Rumble and going to yet another WrestleMania title match? I can guarantee you right now that Charlotte's match, or whatever Charlotte is in at WrestleMania, is going to be one of the more uninteresting segments of the entire show. Don't at me. So we got Asuka coming out. Asuka was talking in Japanese. She said something in Japanese, congratulating her in Japanese. Charlotte smiled and asked if they were challenging her. Asuka said that if she had entered the Women's Royal Rumble, she would have won. Oh, really? Really? Let me see you get through that political force field that Charlotte holds over the entire division. Asuka and Kairi attacked her, and it was a god-awful double suplex. Again, Charlotte looked like she no-sold the fucking suplex. Looked like she stiffed the Kabuki Warriors mid-suplex. So we go to commercial break. Charlotte and Asuka, I would pay good money to never see Charlotte and Asuka and Charlotte and Becky ever again. But this is the division. This is the division. Charlotte says she's upset because she feels like she's not being booked the way she should be booked. Meanwhile, look at the division that you're in. There's nobody for you to go in the ring and compete against on Monday Night Raw, yet it's the division, right? It's you know, you're not being booked the right way. The company's not booking the division the right way. I don't understand how this is so fucking foreign to everybody. If you had someone like a Bianca or a Candice or a Rhea or all of them on the fucking roster, then you'd have some fucking competition. But you don't. Charlotte wins by DQ. Charlotte applied the figure eight on Asuka. Kyrie leapt off the top rope to break it up and gave Charlotte the insane elbow. That was that. 2 DQ finishes on Monday Night Raw. Great. In the form of Charlotte and Andrade. Coincidence? I think not. Remember the Street Profits? Remember when they were cool? Yeah, I don't. Every single week they make that an even farther distant memory. They were doing something with Kelly Kelly. They said Raw is rated R. In walks Kelly Kelly. I'm sure all of you are getting rated R thoughts about Kelly Kelly. You fucking perverts. Montez Ford began singing her entrance theme, and I walked away. I couldn't take it anymore. These guys are a tag team act that I absolutely adored in NXT, and now I absolutely despise them on Monday Night Raw. Everything that Monday Night Raw touches, it fucking kills. Triple H creates, Vince kills. I said it before. Maybe that's my next t-shirt design. I don't know. Mojo Rawley. Yes, this is Monday Night Raw after the Royal Rumble. Mojo Rawley, yes, I know. Comes out with Riddick Moss. NXT Riddick Moss. Who? Yeah, it's exactly what San Antonio was saying too. I know who Riddick Moss is. Do you know who Riddick Moss is? Riddick Moss had a decent fucking gimmick working for him in NXT with Tino Sabatelli. Then he had a decent gimmick solo, where he was this big workout, buff guy, gymnast type deal. And now he's a fucking middle linebacker for Mojo Rawley defending the 24/7 championship, or keeping the 24/7 championship safe for Mojo Rawley. Somebody said Riddick Moss is looked at as a top stud or a top player in WWE, so much so that they paired him with Mojo Rawley, a dead act, defending a dead title in the death spot on Monday Night Raw. Riddick Moss is a top player in WWE, or he's highly touted in WWE? Where? I'd love for you to tell me. Oh, but TV time is TV time. Yeah, TV time like this is going to fucking get him no TV time. Mojo Rawley wants to defend the 24/7 title and no longer have it be the hide-and-seek Cowards Championship. Said anybody could get it anytime, any place. In the gym, in the ring, at your mother's house. She gonna be making me fucking lasagna at the same time? I'll come over. Said every franchise quarterback needs a strong offensive lineman to watch your blind side. Riddick Moss. Who? Yeah, exactly. Mojo Rawley, and out comes No Way Jose. Does anybody have any interest in this match? No Way Jose. Do you give a shit about the 24/7 title? No Way Jose. Do you know who Riddick Moss is? No Way Jose. This one was a squash. Seconds. Mojo Rawley wins. Who cares? Then the conga line got in the ring, or the conga line was dancing around, and the fucking hamburger from the conga line rolled up Mojo Rawley. Who was it? It was R-Truth. R-Truth won the 24/7 title. He didn't realize that Riddick Moss was there because he's now Mojo's new offensive lineman. And from behind, R-Truth was rolled up by Mojo Rawley. Could someone please tell me why this is still happening? Why this is still happening? Get rid of it, please. Lana and Liv Morgan. Lana. There you go. I got a fucking sound effect for everything. That's Lana. Liv Morgan. Oh, man. Liv Morgan in that black suit. Probably the best thing on Monday Night Raw. This one went 3 minutes. She won with a flatliner off the ropes. Oh, joy. Oh, joy. A match that we did not even ask for, but more Liv Morgan, please. Eric Rowan versus Brandon Weiss. I don't know where they got this guy from. Maybe he worked at the Steak Shack over in San Antonio. I hear they got good steaks down there. Apparently, I think this guy Brandon Weiss has an award-winning barbecue rub, is what I heard. That's where they got him from. You know, he paints the steak with the fucking big brush there with the barbecue sauce. I don't know where they got him from, but apparently they paid him in fucking cornbread tonight to get in the ring with Eric Rowan. Rowan wins in 2 minutes. he delivered a devastating drop. By the way, before I even talk about the match, which was 2 minutes, shout out to Eric Rowan wearing the cattle decapitation t-shirt. I don't like cattle decapitation, but I got to appreciate the man's death metal style. You don't see that every day, especially in pro wrestling. Rowan with a beautiful drop kick out of nowhere, opening the match up with a drop kick on this guy. This guy fucking blasted outside the ring. He ran at him crossbody in the ring with a slam, and that was it. A jackhammer and then the claw slam, and that was it. We did not get him digging into the chest or the fucking crate or whatever's in there. Who the fuck knows what's in there? Maybe it's, I don't know. Maybe it's Charlotte Flair's fucking lithium battery. I don't know. Maybe it's something in there having to do with her fucking production line. Speed it up. Speed it up. Get her off TV. And we went over the Edge thing already. I'm not going to go over what we went over in the beginning. I talked about it in the beginning, and that was pretty much it. Edge was out. It was great. Randy Orton tried to attack him, and you guys heard my thoughts on it in the opening of this podcast. That's all I got for you right here on Monday Night Raw. I'm getting out of here because I'm thirsty and I'm tired, and I don't want to be sitting in front of this microphone anymore. Thank you guys so very much. If you enjoyed the podcast, let me know what you guys think down below. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. As always, patreon.com/JD from NY206. Make sure you guys check out the Royal Rumble review and everything else that you might have missed on the show or the podcast this past weekend. Lots of stuff for you guys to dig into if you want more content from yours truly. And I will see you all right back here on, I don't know what I got coming up tomorrow. What do I got coming up tomorrow? I don't know. I might be getting my PlayStation 4 Pro back, so I might be on Destiny tomorrow. Maybe no upload. Depends on how I feel. My voice is a little shot from this weekend, but we'll see what happens, man. Maybe I will do something out of the blue for you guys, like a fucking RKO out of nowhere. I don't know. Anyway, thank you guys so much. Hit that thumbs up, and I will see you right back here on Wednesday. We'll say for Wednesday, for now, for AEW Dynamite, and I'll see you guys right back here for more wrestling content on the channel, as always. Until then, thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Thank you guys for a great Royal Rumble weekend. See you later.